Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United transfer news. I hope you're all doing well. I need to be myself. Boom, banana, boom. I can't be no one else. Boom, banana, boom. I'm feeling supersonic. Give me gin and tonic. You can have it all, but how much do you want it? Enough of that. Enough of that. I'm feeling quite Oasis today. I know they support Man City, but 28 days today since the release of Definitely Maybe. I don't know why I've got that in. Don't need that in. But yeah, feeling a bit of I love Oasis. I love Oasis. I love the Stone Roses, but you know, my football's not about my music. My music's about something different. And what an album that was. Welcome to the Members Club, Dylan Ready. I hope you're ready, Dylan. Right, let's get on with the show. So lots to get into this afternoon. Charlie was on the morning show. We've got a cracking video coming up for you at about half four today. Ben Foster, I've just been over doing his show and we've recorded a little bit for the United Stand. Interesting insight into Ronaldo and what he was like to train with, because of course he trained with him for a few years. But look, let's get into the show. Late deals, De Jong, Memphis late bids, Osimhen for Ronaldo, lots to get into. I want to talk about this story which just won't go away. We'll talk about that one in a moment. Osimhen, Ronaldo, Napoli. But I suppose the first thing to hit on is Frenkie de Jong. There has been a bit of overreaction. There has been some stories about Frenkie de Jong flying into London with Memphis and 2 + 2 is 4. But no, it's 2 + 2 is Matic. We had Ricky on last night and he would tell us that. Of course he would. Antony, we need to talk about Antony as well. Will he play against Leicester? Some interesting information there. But on Frenkie de Jong and Memphis, they're flying in. I think it's something to do with Donny van der Beek getting married, actually. Is Donny going to get subbed on at the close for his wedding as well, says Delicate Official. Yeah, I don't know why Donny van der Beek's getting married today when Manchester United have got games going on. I don't know what that's all about. Why didn't he just get married over the summer when everybody was off? But look, I'm not the one to tell Frenkie and Donny what to do. A couple of days off for Barcelona players, so they're flying into London, apparently for Donny van der Beek's wedding, but certainly it's not transfer related. However, the interesting thing is that Fabrizio Romano has just commented on this, and I'll read you what he said because I haven't actually I haven't seen it anywhere. I think it just as I was going live, I saw it. So let's just read this. He says that Frenkie de Jong is travelling to London as he will be on holiday after some days off decided by Xavi. It's not transfer related. No changes about his situation. No talks with Liverpool. Frenkie has different plans. He's focused on staying at Barcelona, but he's not open to a salary cut. So, I mean, I suppose in general, I don't think United are going to do any more business, and I'll tell you why in a minute, but of note. But I think that when it comes to Frenkie de Jong, I really hope he doesn't take a pay cut. I mean, it's nothing to do whether he'll come to Manchester United or not, but I think you complete mug Frenkie if you take a pay cut from Barcelona. The amount of money they've spent, the amount of money they owe you, and you love it there so much that you want to take a pay cut, it's just muggy. I wouldn't let them do it. I really wouldn't. But it doesn't mean he's going to come to United. But it's interesting that Romano says he's not going to take a pay cut, which is exactly what everybody's expecting him to do. He wants to stay at Barcelona. He doesn't want to take a pay cut. The bottom line is that Xavi's midfield three that he likes to play, and he played it yesterday, is Busquets, Pedri and Xavi. And De Jong was on the bench. Now, that's absolutely fine, and I know Xavi likes De Jong, but if he's not going to start him, he becomes a bench player who's on 300 and something grand a week. So they do need to resolve something there, but maybe, I don't know what's going to happen with Frenkie de Jong. And what I was told is that Man United will always keep the door open for Frenkie de Jong. But the interesting thing is, if that door opens up on Wednesday, will United still pursue that deal of 70 million? We've spent well over £200 million this summer. Through desperation, admittedly, but we have spent a lot of money. Would Manchester United still be interested in going in for Frenkie de Jong? It feels to me like this is not going to happen, but my only observation about the Frenkie de Jong deal is that Man United did spend all summer trying to do it. If he's not going to take a pay cut, what's going on with Barcelona? But I think that they it'll be an interesting one to monitor with Frenkie de Jong. But I'm not expecting Manchester United to do any more business of note, anything big. The Memphis Depay thing is a little bit more interesting. I suppose Aubameyang is as well, but I don't sense United are going to do anything else. I'm even thinking that Ronaldo might not go now, but maybe that's because Thursday is only 3 days away. So I don't know what everybody else thinks, but I think that De Jong and Memphis, if you're getting excited about them flying into London, it's clearly not transfer related, and De Jong's focus is still on staying at Barcelona. I would love to think that at some point in time we will get the truth on what happened with Frenkie de Jong. I know Manchester United are very desperate to put this story out that they did everything that they could. I'm sorry, I don't agree. I don't think you did everything you could. I think you did everything wrong. The cold, harsh facts appear to be that Frenkie de Jong, well, Barcelona wanted to sell him to us. We wanted to buy him, but Frenkie de Jong never wanted to leave. Man United, I don't get it. I'd love to know the truth, but I don't get it. I don't get what Man United thought they were doing. You can't agree with it. I can't go and knock on my neighbour's door and say, I want to buy your fridge, and him sell it to me, and then I walk in and the wife's like chained to the fridge saying, I'm not letting you sell it. I love this fridge. It gives out ice cubes and water. I'll be there going to the husband, you've just sold it to me. She won't let it go. I'll have to give you the money back. This just appears to be the situation with Barcelona. It's like they want to sell us something that doesn't want to be sold. And yet United took all summer on it. And look, I got told in numerous conversations, and it came out anyway, that there were conversations between Ten Hag and his agent about coming to Man United, and as long as he got the money he was owed, he'd come to Man United. It just seems very messy, but I don't see De Jong happening now, and I suppose it'd be interesting to see if he does take a pay cut. These are just last-minute rumours. No more transfers in this window, says Aradja, though I really would want us to sign a decent striker, even if it's on loan, says Aradja. Well, I suppose I don't want to say nothing's possible in the last few days. We will get Dubravka from Newcastle as well, but yeah, interesting conversation with Ben Foster about that. So check the video out at 4:30. We were talking about Ronaldo and Dubravka actually a little bit, but I can't see United doing anything else now, and I do think that. Look, whether I don't like the Glazers, and I don't like the Glazers at all. And in fact, just talking about the Glazers, somebody said this to me today, and I wish I'd remembered who it was who said it, but it was a very good point. They said people should not unfollow Manchester United on Twitter. If you're following Man United on Twitter, just stay following them. What you should do is, because if you unfollow them, there'll still be millions and millions of other people who follow them anyway. What you should do is let them know every single day what you think about them, because that will be in their replies. And Man United won't block Man United fans, so instead of unfollowing Manchester United on socials, if you are unhappy with Manchester United, when they tweet something, get in the replies and tell them. Don't be abusive, don't do threats, don't do anything illegal. Just get in those replies every day and tell them what you think about them. Tell them what you think about the owners. You know, it could just be Glazers out or something like that, but I think sometimes more than that, because Man United monitor their socials, and so do sponsors. So I actually think that's quite a good idea. Unfollowing them, what does that do? But actually responding to them and interacting with them and telling them what you think. That you know, it's not a bad idea, is it? So look, let's move it back to transfers. Manchester United have spent a lot of money. My belief is that our net spend was 60 million. Now it's gone up to nearly 200 million since Sir Jim Radcliffe came in to try and buy the club. I don't think anybody is. I don't think any United fan is stupid to realise why we've suddenly spent a lot of money, but we have spent a lot of money, and I think that probably prevents us spending any more. Any chance Gakpo deal being done, says Darren? The latest on Gakpo is that is over, that we're not going to do anything around that. The money's dried up. Just on Antony, before I talk about this story, the Antony situation is that he's got to be registered by midday on Wednesday to be involved in the game against Leicester. I was told last night that Antony will probably be on the bench for the Arsenal game, and that'll be his first minutes for Manchester United, because although they could get the medical done today and they could announce him tomorrow, and I think that's probably what will happen, he would be part of the matchday squad for Leicester, but Ten Hag is a man of preparation, and fitness is very important to him, and he's very aware that Antony's not done anything for basically over a week. So to take him to the Leicester game and having him involved is very, very unlikely, because he'd probably only have one light training session on Wednesday. But it's a quick turnaround from Thursday to Sunday anyway. So I would never say never, but I was told last night that the way Ten Hag prepares, it's very unlikely that Antony would even be part of the matchday squad on Thursday, probably on the bench for Arsenal, but you never know. So yeah, I don't think Gakpo will happen. I enjoy the streams every day. I'm over for the Arsenal game from Northern Ireland and hoping to see Antony and Casemiro home debuts, Glazers out, says Ethan. I think you probably will see both of those players. I do. Will you see Ronaldo though? There are hours of waiting to understand if George Mendes, agent of Cristiano Ronaldo, will bring a concrete offer to realise his move to Napoli and the transfer of Victor Osimhen. That's from Marcio. Now, Di Marcio, a few years ago, got it absolutely spot on. It was the summer of Mourinho. It was the Pogba signing from Juventus, Zlatan, Mkhitaryan and Bay. And Di Marcio was spot on. And Di Marcio was the first real foreign journalist to start hitting Man United news. We forget this with the likes of Romano now, but Di Marcio was very, very credible at one time. So I always listened to Di Marcio, but I don't see this. I can't see this. I think that Napoli's always been a possibility for Cristiano. And I'm a massive Ronaldo fan. And do watch the video with Ben Foster later, because we spoke about Ronaldo in depth and he gave a bit of a glimpse of what Ronaldo's like when he trained with him. And I love Ronaldo, legend of the club. Nothing's going to make me ever not think that. But I do think that we've messed this up. I can't believe that we're going into the last few hours of the transfer window and Ronaldo might leave. It's terrible preparation by Manchester United. But I can't really see how we do a deal now. Because if Ronaldo goes, you've got to bring somebody else in. Victor Osimhen for Cristiano Ronaldo would be a very good deal all round. Ronaldo gets to go to a club that's capable of doing well in Serie A and in the Champions League. And Manchester United get a young striker that can be at this club for years to come and is very, very talented. But he's worth £100 million. Like, I don't see how Cristiano Ronaldo is part of a deal that makes us pay anything. You know, we'd have to give him about 80 million euros. So if we've got that sort of money, Osimhen is a very good player to go and get. But I just don't think we've got that money to do it. So, look, never say never, but that just seems completely unlikely to me. Really does. Do you think there's any truth in this Pogba news, says Gary? I'm not getting involved in the Pogba thing. I saw it last night. I passed comment on it. Some people didn't like it. You know, I wasn't really that deeply knowledgeable about what was going on. I just passed a comment on my Twitter, which is my right to do. A lot of people overreacted to it. That is their right as well. But it's just my point last night still stands. I'm glad he's not at Manchester United anymore, because we've got so many things going on. With that going on as well, it's just, you know, it's not what you want. But obviously, for Paul Pogba, it's a bloody nightmare. Of course it is. And I suppose we'll just have to see how that develops. Harry Maguire says, put me back in the team. I'm going to talk about you in a minute, Harry, but let's talk about transfers first. So, yeah, look, well, I don't know what's going to happen with Cristiano Ronaldo. I suppose the closer we get to transfer deadline day, the more confident people will get that he's going to stay. I just don't know. I'm probably still 60-40 that he goes, but I hope he stays. The interesting thing is, can Ronaldo get game time at Manchester United now? He's our best goal scorer, but can he get the game time? So I don't know. But will we do any other deals in the last few days? I suppose that's the question to ask. And the Frenkie de Jong story is a load of nonsense. He's flying into England for a wedding. The Osimhen story just doesn't make any sense to me. Ronaldo, I suppose with 3 or 4 days left, and we haven't really done the transfer meter. But what do you think is going to happen in the next few days? Because if you're putting me on the spot, I would say there's a chance we get Memphis. There's a chance Ronaldo goes. We will get a goalkeeper, and I think that will be it. We might just get Dubravka and that's it, and Ronaldo stays. I can't see anything happening. What I would say as a sale, I know for a fact that Manchester United, I said it in late June, people, you know, Antony's done now. You know we've been well informed on Antony, and I couldn't give a toss if people think we weren't or we were, because the community knows how long ago we've been talking about Antony, how we knew and spoke about it way before the UK press in June. And lo and behold, he is now a United player. We've always been very well informed on Antony. But another bit of story, which I've mentioned a few times and will remind you, and the videos are there, I got told in mid-June that Manchester United have got an offer for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And I mentioned it to you, and some people were like, nonsense, it'll be a loan deal. And it may well be a loan deal. But I know that United have had an offer for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. They have had an offer, and I think we all know which club it is. I think it's Crystal Palace. I never got told what club it was. I never got told, but I got told that there was a paid offer on the table for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Now, my belief is now, as I said over the weekend, is that offer is probably around 15 to 20 million quid. United don't want to take the offer because they feel they'll be embarrassed by it. But if they don't take that offer, I can't see it ever being any more. His contract becomes less. His game time is less. I just don't see Aaron Wan-Bissaka ever being worth at Manchester United any more than 20 million. So maybe United will take that money. Maybe they will. Maybe that offer's still on the table, and but maybe he'll go on loan. I don't know. But Man United, that offer's there, and they didn't want to take it because they thought it was embarrassing. But you know, it is embarrassing. You spent £50 million on him, but you know, if you buy something and it's not worth it, and you put it on eBay or something, and someone wants to give you half the price, do you say no because I paid more for it, or do you take your money and just take the hit? I heard Aaron Wan-Bissaka's going out on loan, says Scott. Wouldn't we need a new right back since we're very short, says Scott there. We'd still have Brandon Williams as a backup right back if Aaron Wan-Bissaka leaves, says Arad. But I don't think Brandon Williams is anywhere near good enough, mate. I really don't think he's the level that we need. I mean, he can do a job, but maybe we do that for a year, but I think we can get somebody in. There's talk of Dest, of course. Hi, Mark. Love the show. Thanks for all you guys do. Could we offer to cover Ronaldo's wages for a year plus 15 million fee and pay around 50 million to Napoli, says Joe. Look, maybe something can happen there, but I know Osimhen cost them a lot of money, and I just can't see why they'd let him go. Mark, could we do something with Aaron Wan-Bissaka at Inter for De Vries? Doesn't Inter owe us some money, says Mikhail Roach. What about Osimhen loan with obligation to buy if we get Champions League football? Well, that's a very, very, very clever idea, Joseph. A very, very good, clever idea. You're a legend, Mark. Love the show. Keep up the good work, says Ben. Thank you. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. So a couple of points there. Dumfries is a player. McTominay is a backup striker, says it's. Dumfries is the right back that Erik ten Hag wanted. That's been known all summer. I just don't think we can do that deal now. I don't think it's available to do that deal now. So the right back situation, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't do anything now. Just keep Aaron Wan-Bissaka as the backup. But it depends. I've heard that Ten Hag just doesn't like the profile of Wan-Bissaka in relation to getting forward. He wants a fullback that can invert and get forward, and I don't think he believes that Wan-Bissaka can do that. So maybe we'll still move Wan-Bissaka on, take the money while we can, and then just use Brandon Williams for a season. Robin says Osimhen 40 million plus 60 million buy clause plus Ronaldo loan back, says Robin. That's a very good point, and I've got to applaud you on that one. I hadn't really thought about it, and I don't know why. That's a potential breakthrough for Osimhen and Ronaldo and Napoli. And look, can I just say, I love Cristiano Ronaldo. He's a legend of this football club, and if he wants to go and United want to do a deal, let's applaud him out of the club. Let's keep the respect on the name, and let's everybody move on. And if he stays at the club, let's move on. What I don't want, and we will get, because that club is toxic, and there'll be people in that dressing room who see Ronaldo leaving as an opportunity to say he's the problem. I think we all know Ronaldo's not the problem. Ronaldo's not the reason certain players have played badly, because those certain players are still playing badly, and Ronaldo's not in the team. Martinez and Varane have come in, and Malassia has come in, and other players have gone out. So look, take responsibility for your own actions. But if United could work a deal where we give Ronaldo to Napoli and we get Osimhen on loan with some sort of obligation to buy next summer, then maybe there's something that can be done there. I don't know, but it seems a bit far-fetched to me. But one thing's for sure, that George Mendes will certainly be working on that. I don't see Ronaldo going to Chelsea, Phil. I don't think you need to worry about that. I think that ship has well and truly sailed. Just a little bit of an update on loan deals that will probably happen. Hannibal Mabry, this is coming from the Manchester Evening News. He won't sign a new contract before joining Birmingham. He was offered one but hasn't agreed it yet. Talks will continue. So the talk is that Hannibal Mabry but that's from Manchester Evening News. And then you've got Simon Stone saying that he will sign a contract extension with United first. I don't think United can afford to let Mabry go on loan without getting him on a new contract, and I think that would be a very good loan for him. So hopefully we'll get Mabry out on loan. Ahmad is expected to go on loan as well. So I think that Manchester United will move some players out, and the expectation is that Garnacho will stay. This is a breakdown of the fee. I think we already know that. €95 million fixed fee with 5 million in add-ons. But that's a lot of money. There's no escaping that Antony's cost us a lot of money, and I don't think anybody wants to escape that. It's a ridiculous amount of money, and what can you say? We've ended up. We've got the player that we should have got for Ten Hag, but we've spent a lot of money on it. I think that goes without saying. I'm sure it does. The reason I talk about people going out the door, obviously, is because there is a player that we expect to go out the door that many of us are not happy is going out the door, which is James Garner. Now, the latest we're hearing on James Garner is that Everton are very, very interested, but Manchester United have gone a bit quiet on this. So I don't know whether it's because United are dealing with other things, probably, but James Garner is 15 million in the bank. I don't agree with this. I really hope there's a buyback clause or something in there, because I really think that the big red flag for me with James Garner is that he's done fantastically well in the Championship and he's never been given a chance in the Premier League. We're looking to sell him and Premier League clubs want to buy him. That is a big red flag that there's a player there. Tottenham have expressed an interest. Everton really want him. There's a couple of other Premier League clubs as well. He's never played in the Premier League. And yet, Premier League clubs are queuing up to buy him. I just think this is a bad deal. And I think United are doing it because he's the only player that they can actually sell, that people want. Eric Bailly, nobody would pay. There's a few others as well, Tellez. So I do have concerns, massive concerns about this. Really, James Garner, I'm actually quite surprised. I'm almost stunned. James Garner, for me, if you'd have said to me in May, what do you think is going to happen with James Garner? The last thing I would have said was sale. I would have said he's going to be sat on the bench as an option for the season for us, or we're going to loan him to a Southampton. That's one of those two things will happen. I never thought we'd sell him. And I just think it's wrong. I think it goes against everything Manchester United's meant to be about. On one hand, we get told to back McTominay and Rashford because they're from the youth setup and they've had loads of chances. But on the other hand, we're going to sell James Garner, who's had no chances and actually looks like a decent player. It's just, I'm very surprised at Manchester United for doing this. It's a complete and utter contradiction of what we're told to do. And I'd be very interested to see what someone like a Gary Neville thinks about this, because he's very vocal about these youth players. He's very loyal and, promotes them and backs them, and that's absolutely fine. But I just think the James Garner thing's odd. And the only thing that comes back to me with James Garner is that we must need the money. That money must be important. That 15 million must be very important to United, because you just loan him for a year. Loan him to Everton for a year. See what he does for Everton, and then next summer make a decision. It just makes absolutely no sense to sell him unless you're so desperate for that money. And I think that's what it is. He's one of the few players that we can sell and get some money in. And the fact that it's 15 million makes me very, very dubious that is dividend money for the January, for the Glazers. If Man United want to get top four, we have to play Malacia, Varane, Martinez and Delo week in, week out. Injuries will occur and we need a new right back, says only Hazard. Can I talk about this now? Yes, I can talk about this now. I was driving back. I've just been down to see Ben Foster recording a couple of bits, and I was driving back on the motorway, and I put TalkSport on, and Graham Souness was on there, and he called Martinez vertically challenged, and basically said that Martinez is not special at anything, and that he was saying that Harry Maguire should be playing ahead of Martinez. And I just thought, you know what? There's a point where this pantomime comments become really dangerous. And Martinez has played 3 or 4 games in the Premier League, and from day one, certain aspects of our media have gone for him. And I'm just like, you know what? It's appalling. It's absolutely appalling. Imagine in your workplace or your school or your university or wherever, a new starter comes in. And from day one, everyone just says they're crap. They're crap. They're no good. They're crap. I mean, what happened to actually giving somebody a bit of a time to adjust? It seems to me that people are looking at Martinez going, he's too small, he's crap, Harry Maguire should be played. And I'm like, you're being paid money to... I mean, I actually heard Souness say in one of his answers, that's coming from a football person. Oh, you played football, did you, Souness? Great, well done. Your opinion must be better than mine. You played in the bloody 80s. Most of us weren't born then. Your opinion must be better than ours because you played football. Is Gazza's opinion better than ours? No, because Gazza's got his problems. Like, you can't live behind the fact that you played football and your opinion's better than everybody else's. I'm sorry. Lisandro Martinez played superbly well at the weekend and superbly well against Liverpool. He's put in 2 performances that are better than Lindelof and Maguire have in the last 18 months. and yet he's getting criticised. And we know why, because he hasn't got a British passport. Because if he was 5'9" and he had an English passport, there'd be a very different opinion. Instead of him being vertically challenged and called not good enough, it would be England's Cannavaro. Look at what I guarantee you now, if Martinez was not Lisandro Martinez and Leonard Martin, and he was English, born in Chorley, and he was playing for Man United, and we'd spent 50 million quid on him, there would be headline after headline about Cannavaro. He's the only centre-back to win the Ballon d'Or in the last 20 years, and he was 5'10". Cannavaro, England's Cannavaro, Leonard Martin, he's going to be Cannavaro. Height doesn't matter. Look at how many aerial duels he wins anyway. Plays out from the back. England's new Cannavaro, Leonard Martin. And I can see it. I can see it, and I will call it out. And I think it does need to be called out, because he's only played a handful of games in the Premier League. Not even that yet, because that's 5. And he's played well in 2 of those games. And yet he's being called out as not good enough because Harry Maguire should play. And I'm like, this is just pure bias. And it should be called out. This is passport bias. This is completely and utter bias. He played really well. He was man of the match on Saturday. And he's being called out on the Monday as not tall enough, not good enough. He's going to get found out. Who's going to find him out then? Haaland. What? Haaland will probably find anybody out. Well, yeah, all right. Darwin Nunez. What? Who got sent off? Didn't even play against him. Who's going to find Lisandro Martinez out? Because I'll give you something for free. There's not a lot of teams that play with centre forwards who are 6'3" anyway. There's not. Jesus isn't big. That's Arsenal's front man. Raheem Sterling. Oh, he's going to find out old Martinez, isn't he? He's playing up front for Chelsea. So I find it hilarious that this is allowed to even be a conversation point, that Lisandro Martinez isn't good enough when he's just been man of the match at the weekend away from home, and was fantastic against Liverpool as well. And as I said, the only centre-back that's won the Ballon d'Or in the last 20 years, and he won a World Cup, is Fabio Cannavaro. And he was brilliant in the air. But, these people can say, well, I used to play football. Well, I tell you what, I don't think you watch a lot of football anymore. I don't think you analyse a lot of football. Because if you think that Harry Maguire deserves to be playing ahead of Lisandro Martinez, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. Harry Maguire is exactly where he needs to be at the moment, on the bench, pondering his future, hopefully waiting for his chance where he'll start delivering consistently. He deserves to be on the bench. And Lisandro Martinez deserves to be starting ahead of him with Rafael Varane. And, maybe Lisandro Martinez will make mistakes, and maybe Lisandro Martinez will get found out, but he categorically has not been found out at the moment. So why is he constantly being mentioned? He's just becoming another foreign scapegoat. And we see it week after week, day after day within our media, and it needs calling out. A player who was man of the match on Saturday should not be being attacked on Monday as being not big enough and a problem. We won 1-0. We kept a clean sheet and he was man of the match. Apparently Shea Adams dominated him. I don't know what game people were watching. I really don't. Ollie, thanks for being a member for 2 months. Does what Antony did going on strike put the Ronaldo situation in perspective? He could have done what Antony did and got a move in the end. Professional, says Majak. Ronaldo's always professional, mate. I'm tired of hearing that Martinez slander. If you put him on City, we wouldn't have a problem. Mascherano was a good centre-back at small size. Got to give Ten Hag and the players times. Austin, Mascherano was a very good centre-back. I bet he was about 5'10" as well. Look, on Antony, all I'm going to say is we're seeing this more and more. Fofana's just done it with Leicester to get a move to Chelsea. Players are doing this more and more now. They will literally go on strike to get a move. And you can say what you like about a lot of players, but we've very rarely had that with any United player that's left Manchester United. So hopefully we never will. But what goes around comes around sometimes. I can't wait to see Antony at United, but imagine if he was a really big success over the next 3 years and then Real Madrid say, we want you. Apparently Real Madrid's the club that he loves. I don't know whether that's true. Probably is bloody true, because everybody loves Real Madrid or Barcelona. But in 3 years' time, he might do it to us. I'm not saying he will do, but he might do it to us. So, we'll have to wait and see. But first of all, that's 3 years down the line. Let's get him in the team and see what he's all about. Andrew Rossi says, this is the last time I'll mention Frenkie de Jong. The guy is considering taking a pay cut for a club that already owes him 17 million. The guy is not leaving. It's time to let this nonsense go, says Andrew. Yeah, I think that the de Jong deal is not going to happen, but I do think it's going to be an interesting observation to see how he resolves being owed 17 million and takes a pay cut. I mean, that's just ridiculous. When Napoli sold Koulibaly to Chelsea, the club or manager said they won't be signing any more Africans due to the African Cup of Nations. Could be the same for Osimhen. Thoughts, says Luke. And not bothered about what United spend. They didn't spend in January and held back in the summer. Frenkie de Jong catches Donny's bouquet. It will take that as a signature, says SK. You know what, SK? You should be bothered about what we spend. You should be bothered about what we spend, because I'll tell you a story. And it's not, the reason you're not bothered is fine, but I'll tell you why you should be bothered about what we spend. Because we're incompetent. That's why you should be bothered about what we spend. I firmly believe we've spent £35 million too much on Antony. We've spent £85 million on him. And he's a £50 million player. Or if you want to do it in euros, we're spending €100 million on him and he's a €70 million player. So there's about £30-35 million there that we've overspent. That's not Antony's fault. It's not our fault. And it's not Ten Hag's fault. This is Woodward's fault. No, it's not. It's Arnold's fault. It's Murtaugh's fault. It's the Glazers' fault. So anybody who sits there and says, oh, I don't care about how much we spent on Antony, the Glazers take enough money out of our club. You're right, but you're also wrong. Because if we had a competent director of football and we'd got that deal done for Antony in June and we'd spent 50 million instead of 85 million, we'd have 35 million to buy Gakpo. Now, people will say, well, no, they'd have just kept that 35 million back. Well, either way, it's wrong, because that 35 million has still been spent too much, and we could have bought another player with that. So we need another forward, basically, and the reason we probably won't get one is because all the money has been spent. We've overspent on Antony, we overspent on Martinez. We needed both players, and they are good players, but we have overspent on them. And when you put the money we've overspent on Martinez and Antony together, you could definitely get a decent forward. So that's why you should be bothered about it. Not that we've spent it, but we've overspent and we could have got another player in. That's the problem. Antony is Greenwood's replacement. We still need more, says Majak. A few people still talking about Frenkie de Jong flying into England. He is flying into England for a wedding. Look, never say never. It's been a weird transfer window. As I said, if you're asking me what's going to happen in the last few weeks, anything can happen. The last few days, anything can happen. Ronaldo could still leave. We could get Osimhen in on loan. We could get Memphis. We could get Frenkie de Jong. But my understanding is at the moment is that I think Dubravka will come in. And all I would say is watch the Ronaldo situation. If Ronaldo goes, we'll obviously bring a forward in. I'd probably expect Memphis, but I think Ronaldo dictates the last few days. That's my prediction. What happens with Ronaldo will dictate if we do anything else. If Ronaldo goes, we've got to bring somebody else in. If Ronaldo stays, I don't think we'll bring anybody else in. I don't see a second midfielder coming in. So as we are now, I think watch the Ronaldo situation. And if you're asking me, I suppose the best way to look at it is, some people will say get rid of Ronaldo because they want a new signing. But if you're saying to me Ronaldo goes and Memphis comes in, I want Ronaldo to stay because he's better than Memphis. If you're saying to me that Ronaldo goes and we get Osimhen on loan, I probably would do that deal. I don't see anything else happening. Maybe the right back situation, but I don't think United will take that money from Palace. So maybe the right back situation doesn't happen. We'll have to wait and see. If you're up for a bit of FIFA action and escapism, I've got my treble. It's amazing Bank Holiday Monday. I'm going to be on Twitch in about half an hour's time. Goldbridge TV on Twitch. I've won the league. I've got the FA Cup final. I've got the second leg Champions League semi-final. And if I win that, I've got the final. I could win the treble for the first time ever in FIFA career mode history with Goldbridge. So I need an audience. Tune in half an hour on Goldbridge TV. We're back at 8 o'clock tonight. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Smash a like on the video. Thanks everyone for tuning in. And I'll speak to you all in a bit. Don't forget, we've got Ben Foster on the show at 4:30 as well. Fantastic video. You don't want to miss that as well. Really diving into the Ronaldo transfer.